There was a time when food didn't come from plastic bags and global supply chains. It came from soil-stained hands, monastery gardens, and small village plots that fed entire communities year after year. Medieval farmers didn't survive on bland scraps. They grew tough, clever, nutrient-packed vegetables that could handle cold, hunger, and long seasons of scarcity. Many of them have vanished from our plates, not because they were bad, but because they were too honest, too slow, too real. Today, on Ancient Roots Uncovered, we're digging up 10 forgotten vegetables medieval farmers relied on, and why some of them might be exactly what our modern world needs right now. Skirret, the medieval sweet root. Skirret was once so popular it was called the sugar of the earth. Long before refined sugar-flooded kitchens, medieval growers prized skirret for its naturally sweet, creamy roots. It looks like a thin cluster of carrots, but when cooked, it turns soft, rich, and slightly nutty. Monks cultivated it in cloister gardens because it grew reliably in cool climates and stored well through winter. Salsify was known as the oyster plant because its long white roots develop a subtle seafood flavour when cooked. Medieval farmers valued it because it grew deep, avoided frost damage, and provided calories when little else could. It's high in inulin, a fibre that feeds healthy gut bacteria and contains potassium, iron, and vitamin B6. In a time when protein was scarce, a root that tasted like the ocean was a miracle. It faded when potatoes rose to power. But potatoes don't support digestion the way salsify does. This root didn't just fill stomachs, it kept bodies working. Scorzonera, the black root of endurance. Scorzonera looks rough, black skin, pale flesh, no beauty contest winner. But medieval growers didn't care about looks. They cared about survival. Scorzonera thrived in cold soils, resisted disease, and stayed edible in the ground through winter. It's loaded with antioxidants and was used both as food and medicine. Cooked, it becomes soft, mild, and slightly sweet. Along rocky shores, medieval farmers harvested sea kale, then brought it inland to cultivate. Thick shoots were blanched and eaten like asparagus. Leaves were cooked like cabbage roots were roasted or boiled. Sea kale is rich in vitamin C, calcium, and iodine, making it invaluable in diets that lacked variety. It's also extremely hardy, tolerating wind, drought, and salt. This was food security growing out of stones. We paved over coastlines and forgot one of the toughest vegetables ever domesticated. Rampion, the fairy tale food that was real. Rampion is remembered today mostly from old stories, but medieval farmers actually grew it for both its crunchy roots and tender leaves. It tastes mild and slightly sweet, something between turnip and lettuce. Rampion is remembered today mostly from old stories, but you know, medieval farmers actually grew it for both its crunchy roots and tender leaves. It tastes mild and slightly sweet, something between turnip and lettuce. Rampion grows fast, needs little care, and was eaten fresh, cooked or preserved. It provided vitamins through seasons when greens were rare. It wasn't magic. It was practical, and practical is powerful. Before spinach conquered Europe, orange ruled medieval gardens. It comes in green, gold, and deep red varieties. It grows faster than spinach, tolerates heat better, and resists bolting. Its leaves are rich in vitamin A, calcium and magnesium. Farmers loved it because it kept producing when other greens failed. It vanished because it didn't ship well and bruised easily. But in home gardens, RH still outperforms many modern greens. Hamburg parsley looks like parsley above ground and parsnip below. Medieval farmers valued it because one plant delivered 2 harvests. Leaves for flavour, roots for food. The root is aromatic, slightly sweet, and excellent in soups. It stores well and thrives in cool climates. Cardoon, the ancestor of the artichoke. Cardoon was a staple in medieval fields. Its thick stalks were blanched to remove bitterness and cooked, kind of like celery. It's rich in fibre, magnesium, and plant compounds that support liver health. Medieval cooks baked it, stewed it, and even used it in early cheese making. But, it fell out of favour because it's large, spiny, and honestly, pretty demanding. But it's also incredibly productive and deeply nutritious. Burdock, the roadside survivor. Burdock grew everywhere. Roadsides, fields, waste ground. Medieval farmers didn't see weeds, they saw food. Burdock root is crunchy, slightly sweet, and full of antioxidants. It supports digestion and blood health, and it stores well through winter. It was a peasant staple because it refused to die. In a world of fragile supply chains, that kind of vegetable isn't old-fashioned. It's prophetic. These vegetables weren't grown for trends. They were grown because people needed to live. They endured frost, hunger, and neglect. They fed bodies that worked from dawn to dark. And in many ways, they answer problems we're facing again today. Fragile crops, depleted soils, empty calories, forgotten resilience. If you want more hidden history, lost knowledge, and ancient wisdom pulled back into the light, make sure you subscribe to Ancient Roots Uncovered. Share this video with someone who loves food, history, or growing things. And remember, the future of food might just be buried in the past.